Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here with the Dong Report, here to give you my favorite MLB home run picks of the day. We're talking Friday, August 2nd. Happy Friday, everybody. As for today, I got 6 players on Dong Watch for you guys to lock in, and I also have one honorable mention as well. Now, he's not an honorable mention because I'm not going to bet him. He's an honorable mention because we don't currently have odds out for him yet. So it's a player that I do really like to hit a home run. We're just waiting on odds. So obviously we're going to get to that. We're going to get to all 7 of these guys total. Before that, I do just want to do a quick recap from yesterday, which ended up being a fine day overall. I was able to get 2 to mash. Thank you to Anthony Santander and thank you to Jose Ramirez for hitting home runs, giving us a profitable day yesterday. Granted, it was a slight profit. We were up like 0.4 units, so it wasn't anything crazy, but we will take profit, and that's exactly what we got yesterday. We missed some guys that came close, didn't end up hitting. That's okay. On the entire season, we are up a little bit over 3 units if you include everything, including the Dong Robins, including the guys that I played straight up. But if you just isolate just straight the round robins, which is what we've been doing for about a week now, we're up like over 17 units, specifically on the round robins. So those have been on fire. I just had trouble when I was picking guys straight up. Going to these round robins, opening it up more has been phenomenal. So I'm very confident that we're going to continue the season staying extremely hot. Right before I get into it real quick, just subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also comment this video. I do want to mention that. And then the last thing is that I do have a Dub Club where I send all my plays out for $5 a month. If you're unfamiliar, Dub Club is a platform in which people like me can send out picks for people like you to tail. So if you don't want to watch the YouTube videos, you don't have time, or you just want to get everything sent to you and not worry about anything else, it's $5 a month, gets sent directly to your phone. If you're not interested in that, no harm, no foul. I just want to mention it. Now we can get into these Dong picks. Number 1, I am going with Corey Seager to hit a home run. Red Sox versus Rangers game. I will admit I have been duped by Seager a lot this year. I don't think I've gotten him right once yet this year, but he just keeps hitting rockets recently. They don't quite make it out of the stadium. But today specifically, he's got an awesome matchup against the pitcher that he should absolutely smoke. Now, home runs, they're tough. You'll see guys just annihilate the baseball that don't end up being home runs. I mean, I almost got extremely triggered yesterday because Jose Ramirez hit 2 balls, exit velocity above 100 miles per hour, didn't go out of the ballpark. Finally, he did, but home runs are hard. So all you can really hope is that a guy is crushing the baseball, just that he gets the launch angle and that he pulls it in one direction or gets it long enough if it's the center field to go out of the ballpark. And that's what Corey Seager's been doing. Now, for the matchup today, going up against Cutter Crawford of the Red Sox. And this is an excellent matchup for like a zillion reasons, and I'm just going to list them. Number 1, Cutter Crawford has been terrible, horrendous, awful recently. Looking at his last 10 starts, which is a pretty decent sample size for a pitcher, 10 starts. And it's also all of June and all of July. So it's the last 2 months. Home run per 9 of 2.77. That would be the worst in the MLB by like a full run. It is absolutely god-awful. It's horrible. He's allowed a whopping 17 home runs in those 10 starts. It's terrible. Barrel rate of 14.7% is awful. Launch angle of 19.5 degrees is not great. Average exit velocity of 90.1 miles per hour is not great. Just all of that is very much not good. From there, he is significantly worse against left-handed hitters as well. He's allowed 13 home runs to left-handed hitters, 9 home runs to right-handed hitters, and roughly an equal number of at-bats. It's like 50.5% to 49.5%. That's like how close it's been in terms of righty and lefty batters. And he's allowed 4 more home runs to lefties. And even if you look at Corey Seager, who has been letting us down recently, if you just look not individual days where we bet him on the Dong Report, but just over the past month, he's got an ISO rate of 26% against right-handed pitching, which is what he's going to be facing tonight. He's in his last 4 games, he's got 3 barrels. In his very last game, he got 4 hard hits, just couldn't quite get the ball out of the stadium, but he crushes the pitch mix that Cutter Crawford throws. I absolutely love Corey Seager's chances tonight. I'm very confident that he's going to come through for a home run with a home run for us. Just got a little dyslexic there. But that's our first play. Next up, we're taking Mark Vientos to hit a home run. So for him, we're backing a batter that is on fire, and we're also backing a batter that crushes the pitch mix of the pitchers, going up against Tyler Anderson of the Angels. Now, some people might be scared off of the fact that Vientos has hit a home run in back-to-back games. He hit one on July 30th and July 31st. Now, the Mets had a day off yesterday, so he did not play yesterday. So maybe if you can't say he can't hit a home run in back-to-back days, well, at least he had the day off between the games. But he's just been on fire, and I'm not going to be completely scared off just because he's gone yard 2 days in a row. I just try to isolate the matchup on the individual day while looking at how the batter has performed recently and a little bit longer than the past 2 days. But in the month of June, so from June till now, July, in the month of July till now, so since July 1st, he has 6 home runs. He's got an ISO rate of 27.2% and a barrel rate of 19.7% in that stretch. Those are 2 awesome numbers. He's also much better against lefties, and Tyler Anderson is a left-handed pitcher. His ISO rate on the entire season, so we're not even looking at recent splits, but the year, ISO rate of 34.6% against left-handed pitching. And then Anderson is already not a great pitcher, but the most common pitch that he throws is a four-seam fastball. He throws it about 40.5% of the time. Vientos crushes fastballs. He's like one of the best four-seam fastball hitters in the entire MLB. He's got an ISO rate of 42.6% against four-seam fastballs. That's really good. The next pitch that Anderson throws, the second most common, is a changeup, which he throws 37% of the time. Vientos has an ISO rate of 36.8% against changeups. That's like 70%, over almost 80% of the pitch mix of Anderson that Vientos just crushes. So I'm pretty confident that he's going to be able to stay hot in this one. Next up, I'm going to have 2 batters in the Blue Jays versus Yankees game. So you're going to need to put these as a separate same game parlay. I mention this every video. If there are guys in the same game, you put them in a round robin on FanDuel. FanDuel doesn't actually place the bet for guys in the same game. You need to add a separate 2-leg same game parlay. Bet that separately. That's the same case with this one. Now, starting with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's been one of the hottest batters in baseball since the MLB returned from the All-Star break, and I love the matchup he has against Marcus Stroman of the Yankees. Now, I do want to shout out the Cone Zone, who, if you know, you know, in my Discord, who also put me on Vlad. He had this one first, so I do want to give him credit. But the stats from him that he looked up, whatever source that he uses, Stroman allows a horrible barrel rate, specifically to right-handed hitters. Now, not just barrel rate in general, but to righties, which you wouldn't expect because it's righty versus righty, which you always try to target the opposite-handedness. Not in this case. He's been awful against right-handed hitters, and Guerrero Jr. has been barreling the ball up like crazy recently. If you look at since the MLB returned from the All-Star break on July 19th, he's got the second most barrels in the MLB with 10. Only Juan Soto has more. Barrel rate in that stretch, 23.8%, which is phenomenal. And Stroman has really struggled in his last 10 starts, while Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has been on fire. So it kind of makes sense. They match up perfectly. They're perfectly aligned. That's our first play for this game. Then I'm also taking Ben Rice to hit a home run. Now, Ben Rice is mostly just an odds play. Like, I like Judge and Soto a lot. And for those of you who want to tail, I actually am putting Judge and Soto in a totally separate same game parlay for 0.2 units. So if you want to tail that, you can. They're not making the official Dong report, the official Dong Robin, because their odds are terrible. Like, Judge is priced at sub 200, Soto's priced at sub 300. So if I put them in the Dong Robin and they're the only 2 that hit, we would not have a profitable day. Upping the unit size for them 2 specifically means that if they hit, we will have a profitable day. So that's kind of my logic there. So 0.2 units on Judge and Soto if you're interested. But looking at Ben Rice specifically, he's been hit or miss, but mostly solid since he's been called up. Obviously, this is his first year in the MLB, and he was called up in June. But even if you take the data since he hit a 3 home run game, so on July 6th, he hit 3 home runs. Those are going to skew your stats a lot. So I'm looking at the data from July 7th till now. He has a barrel rate of 22.5% since July 7th. So he's still been barreling the ball up like crazy. And that doesn't even include the 3 home run game that he had the day before. In the pitching matchup against Kevin Gausman, not a good one. Gausman's he's really struggled this year, one of his career worst years across the board. That includes home runs. And it's a really good matchup for the pitch mix as well. Gausman, his thing, he throws gas. He loves throwing heat. He throws a fastball over 50% of the time. Rice crushes fastballs. It's his best pitch by far. He's hit 3 home runs against 4-seamers. He's hit 3 doubles against 4-seamers. He's batting .259, which is his best average against all pitches. And his ISO rate against 4-seam fastballs is 44.4%. Gausman loves the heat. Ben Rice loves crushing the heat. Seems like a good matchup for him to hit a home run. So Ben Rice, official play on the Dong report, and then a separate same game parlay of Judge and Soto for 0.2 units as a same game parlay of those 2. Next up, our 5th and 6th play on the Dong Robin. These 2 guys are also in the same game, so they also need to be bet separately. So it's going to be 1 Dong Robin, a separate same game parlay for Vlad and Ben Rice, and then a third bet, another same game parlay for Josh Naylor and Gunnar Henderson, who you see on the screen here, and then a fourth bet if you want to tail Judge and Soto. Sorry, a lot going on here. Confident you'll be able to figure it out. Looking at these two. Naylor, I also got from the Cone Zone in my Discord. He was on this one first. I looked into it. I loved it myself. He's going up against Dean Kremer of the Orioles, who's about as mashable as a pitcher gets. Now, he missed some time at the beginning of in the middle of the season. So he had the beginning of the year, missed time. Now he's made 5 starts since he returned from injury. I'm just looking at the 5 starts since he returned from injury, which is July 3rd until now. His stats on the entire season are worse, but if you want to say he was hurt and those shouldn't count, that's fine. I'm just looking at July 3rd till now. Allowing a barrel rate of 9% in those 5 starts, which is a bottom number, like bottom 10, bottom 15 number, depending on what splits you look at. He was good in his last start against the Padres, but one good start as his last one is not going to completely make me buy in on him as a pitcher. And the pitch mix lines up perfectly. You notice that I'm looking at pitch mix a lot recently. That is the case with this one. Top 3 pitches that he throws: fastballs, cutters, splitters. Naylor mashes fastballs, cutters, and splitters. So it's a perfect matchup for Josh Naylor. Now, Gunnar Henderson, I get it. If you want to just not even bet Gunnar because he's burned you a million times in the past, trust me, I get that entirely. I've been off Gunnar for the past week. I'm ready to buy back in. No doubt about it. I'm ready to get hurt again with Gunnar Henderson. Look at his most recent games, his last 2. He's just been hitting nukes. He's been crushing the baseball. 7 combined hard hits in his last 2 games. 2 games ago, average exit velocity of 107.3 miles per hour. Last game, 103 miles per hour. Hitting nukes, hitting piss missiles, annihilating the baseball. And last game, he finally got his launch angle up, 22.9 degree launch angle. So if your argument was he's hitting the ball straight down, I'm trying to get the ball into hell, that was not the case yesterday. He was finally able to get some lift under the ball. I don't know how he didn't hit a home run yesterday looking at his stats, but if he keeps that up, he's going to have another binge where he hits a home run in 4 straight games. Hopefully that starts today in what should be an awesome matchup. He's going up against Carlos Carrasco, Cookie Carrasco of the Guardians. Crushes the pitch mix, as I'm sure you could guess. Most frequent pitch thrown by Carrasco is a slider. That's Gunnar's best pitch by far. 435 ISO rate against sliders. Batting 306 overall. The second pitch that he throws, the second most common, talking about Carrasco, is a 4-seam fastball. Gunnar crushes fastballs, ISO rate 26% against 4-seamers. Those are the top 2 pitches that Carrasco throws, the top 2 pitches that Gunnar crushes. Hopefully, hopefully Gunnar can come through for us. Right the wrongs from the past 2 weeks where nobody wanted to bet Gunnar anymore. Now for our last our honorable mention, I should say. We're heading to the honorable mention. It's Helio Ramos of the Giants. I love Helio Ramos. FanDuel doesn't have odds on him yet. Most books don't have odds. FanDuel and Caesars don't have odds on him yet. So I couldn't add him to the Dawn Robin because FanDuel doesn't have odds. And I also want to see if we can get better odds on FanDuel or Caesars. So there are a couple things you can do. You can lock in the 6-leg Dong Robin that I mentioned, the Seager, Vientos, Vlad, Rice, Naylor, Gunnar, Henderson. Just lock that in, have that good to go on FanDuel. And then when odds come out on Ramos, put a quarter unit on him separately. So if he does hit a home run, you do get some credit for it. Or, and this is what I'm doing, you can wait and see what the odds come out on him and then just place a full 7-leg one that we have been doing normally for the 1.05 units total, 0.05 units on a round robin times 2. Whatever you want to do is totally fine with me. If you want to just get the bets in now, put the 6-leg Dong Robin in on FanDuel and then bet Ramos for a quarter unit separately. That's fine. If you just want to wait and do what I'm doing, put all 7 together, that's also fine. And then also a reminder that I do have Judge and Soto, 0.2 units on them as a separate same game parlay. But that is all we got. Long video today, which I apologize for. I was looking at the time, seeing how long it's gone. I just love talking dongs. What do you want from me? But let's go Corey Seager, Mark Vientos, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Ben Rice, Josh Naylor, Gunnar Henderson, and Helio Ramos. We get 2 of these guys to dong. We're profitable for the day. We get more. We're very profitable for the day. So let's hope for let's go for 6 of 7. How about that? One of those days. But thank you everybody for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Dub Club, and have a good one.